Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show, reviews. I am Jen Thépuppét, your resident fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And today we're going to be reviewing the 10th episode of The Equalizer, the season finale, if you will, coming to you from CBS and streaming on Paramount+. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Stick around because I have opinions. The Equalizer, episode 10, the season finale, entitled Reckoning. And you know what? Sometimes, being the Equalizer, it's kind of tough because sometimes just shit comes to your house, knocks on your door. And this, let me just say, this does not happen the way I predicted. I did predict that Delilah or somebody would somehow get, she would get in some kind of trouble, and that, Robin will have to come in and use her Equalizer skills to help her out. But not in this way. And I'll say pleasantly surprised in this particular manner. So the gist is that Delilah and her friends get sort of caught up in a drive-by murder of a cartel member, and as a result, one of their friends gets injured, and all the kids that saw, they're like, we know who this guy is, and blah, all this other stuff. And you know what? As soon as that happened, I was like, oh no, you do not, y'all mess. Okay, you mess with the Equalizer's kid. Okay, y'all going down. So of course, not just Robin, but her whole crew were like, we're tracking down these fools. Who are they? Who are they? And it doesn't take much time. They figure out this guy was a cartel member. He got shot up, and Robin doesn't give a fuck. Goes in and with a gun, and it's like, or with the assault rifle or whatever. It's like, hey, this is your guy. Why did he get killed? What's going on? And it doesn't take much time. She knows how to deal with people who, like people like these, this gang, this cartel. And basically it's like, okay, this other, this European syndicate, they're coming in, they're trying to make us, work with them. We don't give a crap. We're going to fight them. But the guy that killed our guy was this hitman, and here's his name, and this is his girlfriend, and she's like, give me the girlfriend, and let's get out of here. And very smartly, she figured out that the girlfriend runs straight to the man himself. And so she decides she's going to do this the right way, calls in Detective Dante. Now we're calling that Detective Dante. Last time they talked, they were not in the best, let's just say they were not in the best place as far as a professional relationship is concerned. But Dante, he wants to do right. And also this is a situation where Robin's own, daughter, Delilah, she runs across Detective Dante as a result of this whole investigation. It does provide a couple of like, I can't go down to the station with you because Detective Dante wouldn't notice who I am. This is why Batman wears a freaking mask. I get it, Robin, you want to be Batman. That's cool, but wear a damn mask. But all that notwithstanding, the gist of this whole episode really is, these kids, they want to do the right thing, but they want to help because their friend who eventually dies, he didn't deserve to be killed just because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. They want to testify. The syndicate's like, you don't want to testify or we'll murder you. And Robin's like, I'm not having any of that shit. I am the freaking Equalizer, and I got skills. I have a certain set of skills that make me a nightmare for people like you, aka, yeah. This very much is much in the way of Taken in that particular respect. What is kind of interesting, there is a bit of social commentary as usual in this show that's going on, in particular talking about the kid that was killed, that one of the mothers she indicates that, oh, he's a hoodlum or something because of where he comes from, or that somehow he got them into that mess or anything like that. Or that, somehow, of course he was going to go there because because he was where he's from, he must be a bad influence. And, I like that they had to shut that down quick. Surprised that Robin didn't jack that woman up and just like, get the hell out of my house. But I did find it interesting. They like to throw on a little bit of, sometimes this show likes to be really, slap you upside the head with the commentary. Other times, they instead of a slap, it's more of a, it's more of a, puts you in a little bit of a headlock and, just kind of force you to look at something. It wasn't overly done. It was interesting that somehow the kid who was dying, it's somehow his fault, even though it was actually that woman's daughter who suggested they go to that neighborhood to get that pizza that, I guess was so important to skip school for. There's a lot of Delilah in this episode, and I do appreciate that. She has been a bit sidelined sometimes in this episode, in this series, but in this one, she is front and center. And it also, puts her in a prime position to kind of, for there to be some dramatic stuff going on later on down the line. In particular, as she notices her mom sort of avoiding things. And when she decides to say, I don't care about the threat to me, I want justice done for my friend, so I'm going to testify anyway. She goes on her own to say she's going to testify and sees a picture of her mom, because, of course, Detective Dante was looking for her. And now it all raises all sorts of questions about Robin and what she's up to. Now, Robin, of course, she's beating the streets. She's got, she's making it happen. She gets the shooter. She gets him arrested and everything. And she gets, she finds out who the guy that is the boss of the shooter is, and goes and confronts him and lets him know, I know you're ex-military. Well, I ain't scared of you, and I got the skills. And you trust me. You don't want me on your bad side. But of course. He's like, we're going to do it anyway. We're a syndicate, and we're just going to make sure we are ready for her. And so, when they're all ready to go down, she goes out when after Delilah's asleep and goes to her safe house, gets her tools, and rides out on her motorcycle to the big confrontation, unbeknownst to her, which in a bit of actual what the fuck for me at least, and she's all capable and everything, but she's incapable of noticing a teenage girl with no particular skills at sneaking or anything jump into the back of her SUV and ride all the way and then jump out the SUV to her little safe house. I'll give a pass on this, but none of that made any sense. There's no way she should have been able to do what she did if Robin is as good as she says she is, or we've seen that she is. That said, Delilah does stumble across the safe house, all the guns, all the passports, all the money, and she knows there's some bullshit going on. And who wouldn't think that? She was her fears about that were assuaged earlier in the season. Now they've all come back. At the same time, Robin goes and she sets up the whole situation, wherein she confronts the Belarusian syndicate leader, and it seems like she's on her own, but of course Mel is around popping shots off in people, and the cavalry arrives, aka the members of the cartel, who aren't too happy about their guy getting shot, and also that the threats against them. So she literally caught in the crossfire, which I thought was funny because she kind of made enemies of both sides, and so they were both shooting at each other and at her. But she's such a cool cucumber. She's just casually popping people here or there, and she's shooting both sides, of course. And when it's all said and done, she confronts the bad guys, gets the drop on them. Takes out both of them takes out both of them. Well, and the threat's over. Yay! They're all gone. It's all dead. She doesn't have to worry about all that. But what she does have to worry about is the fact that when she gets home from the funeral, Delilah confronts her about, asking her, does she want to tell her the truth about everything? And when she doesn't, it prompts Delilah to kind of run off. And that's the end of the season. There is going to be a reckoning in season 2 about the truth, about what Robin has been up to, what she's been doing. And before I forget to mention, we also see a mending of the bridges, if you will, between Officer Dante and between Robin. It kind of comes off as Dante's struggling with the idea of getting justice versus, doing the, quote, right thing by the law. By talking to his dad about, why he was on the take and whatever, all this other stuff about why he's in prison. But it's about trying to find, he's trying to find the line between, he wants to get justice. He is a true white knight, but if justice isn't served by the law, what can he do? And this, as I call it, this is the renewal, the rekindling, the rebuilding of the Commissioner Gordon Batman relationship. And he's going to be the Commissioner Gordon. And if he is, or, the Detective Gordon / Commissioner Gordon, if that's true, then he has to be able to, sort of look sideways at the fact that, Batman's basically a criminal. And in this same way, Robin is basically a criminal. So if he's going to be if he's going to be working with her, he's got to be aware of the idea that maybe the legal way isn't exactly the way that's going to get justice. And so I did enjoy seeing them, him finally coming to grips with the idea that he's okay with this because the system that he is trying to protect is in fact, kind of flawed. There are people who can abuse it. There are situations where someone like Robin, who aren't, whose arms aren't, hands aren't tied by the ins and outs of the law, can maybe get some stuff done. But I will also say that that's a bit of a troubling conclusion that he comes to, considering that's also kind of an awful kind of attitude that's prevalent in many kinds of law enforcement or shows like this, where that the law isn't good enough or whatever. And to be sure, that's true. That's true sometimes that it is flawed, but going extra legal or justifying extra legal activity, that's also really kind of a problem. So I hope I see them address that in a more meaningful way going forward in this show, which there's a lot to look forward to in season 2 of The Equalizer. So anyway, I really like this episode. I think it was a great season finale, lots of action. There's a lot of people on display. A lot of the dynamics that I love, the family and the Equalizer stuff, intertwining. I do really like that, and I hope they do more of that in the future. So, all right, those are my thoughts on this episode of The Equalizer. What did you guys think? And hey, what did you think about my review? Why don't you get down to the comments and let me know what you're thinking. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. We can chop it up, talk about The Equalizer, speculate about what's coming in the future season. And hey, are you a member of the Super Not Funny Show family? What? You're not? Well, what are you doing? Get down there, hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, you can also hit the notification bell to let you know when we drop new content. And we're doing that every week. New reviews, new reactions, anything else that floats our pop culture boat, like the Super Not Funny Show Supercast, where me and my friend Lottie, we sit and talk about all things superhero in comics, video games, movies, etc. It's a real fun time. Why don't you come and check that out? All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks once again for joining me on this review. Come back next time as I start reviewing even more things for the show. Until then, I've been Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace!